Alright. So we've got about a half an hour to take a look at an update that Japan just received. And I'm going to do that. It's a big update, and I think it's extremely impactful to the way we play the game. More so than just about anything we've seen in a while. It reaches that far in its influence, I would say. And there's two parts to it. Good evening, Aurora. The first part is... let's do this first. The Record Keeper Report. We got some events going on. Dissidia is going on. I already did a preview on that. Final Fantasy VIII. We know Final Fantasy VIII is coming. And we are going to be getting a new character, Ultimisia. Check out her little sprite thingy. I actually think she's got a cool sprite. But I care not for the character at all. As I would think most players of Final Fantasy VIII feel, because she was just kind of weird. And it's part of the game where it just took a dive into the obscure. I guess we can try to guess at how good she's going to be. Yes, better than Necron. That is true. That is true. I hope Necron is never put into the game. I hope they ignore his very existence. So Ultimisia is the ultimate sorceress, and I hope that she is just made into a super witch. Yeah, Ultimisia is definitely a callback to Cloud of Darkness. That's for damn sure. Though I don't even know if the Cloud of Darkness sprite or Cloud of Darkness character was even introduced in the way that we know her until Dissidia. Anyway. Tactics would be next. It is going to be a Ramza-centric event. And we're getting a new sprite for him. It is his Chapter 2 and 3 sprite in the game. Which is the one that everyone's been waiting for, I would say. And it looks pretty badass, so I'm not going to complain. I just hope that they add the final wardrobe of Ramza eventually. I would be very happy about that. Yeah, Blythe and me too. And next up we have Final Fantasy IX. It's going to be a Zidane and Amarant event. Thank goodness. So that's an old character, and if, you know, previous events have given us anything to go by, he's probably going to be awesome. They're just going to go, oh, this character has been super neglected. Oh, we're just going to give him all the stuff, and he's going to be great. A la, like, Garland, Dark Cecil. That's probably the most recent example of that. And lastly, we have Final Fantasy V event. It's a Bart's. It's a Bart's event. Okay. Because he needs it. Oh, what kind of images does this come with? Oh, nothing. Nothing Record Keeper. So who knows what this is going to be all about? Bart's gets a buff like every month. And even you're gonna see the buff that he gets when we start talking about the new 6-star abilities and the torments. Battles challenge Zemo Wall to an endless battle. See how long your party can last before it wipes everyone. That's actually a cool concept. New story in record dungeons, whatever. That's not at us yet. I'll do a review of the record dungeons when they come closer. That's Tyro and Lara. This is like Record Keeper's story mode. Actually, kind of happy that this is in the game, and looking forward to it getting introduced for us. Yeah, Cloud of Darkness's Bristle Break 2 is just dark and non-elemental. If you use her just as a holy mage, then that's fine. But she's not, you don't want to legend dye her or anything for that. Yep, her Bristle Break 2 is introduced tomorrow. And it's fantastic. It's one of the best relics on the banner. Nightmare Dungeons renewal on January 18th. The Nightmare Dungeons will be renewed with all new content. This time you can learn or earn new 6-star abilities and chances to gain legend motes from these dungeons. However, the bosses, powered by the negative emotions of the memory paintings, are even stronger than ever. Can't wait for this. I'm going to go into it. Hi, Mike. Yes, right. Not new Nightmare Dungeons. New Torment Dungeons. That's what we call them in Global. Oh, shit. Okay. Shit. There we go. Crystal Tower, whatever. That's far into the future. New Holorites. Oh god, this is great. I don't know if for those... Thank you, Andy Tarot. Boko, new character, that'd be awesome. Yeah, new torments. And I'm gonna be going into those in a second. They deserve a section all to themselves. And that's like the crux of what I want to talk about is the new torments, because they are going to change the way we make a lot of the decisions that we're making right now. Anyway, new Holorites growth eggs trading system. Is everybody pumped? Everyone's pumped. I'm pumped. In late January, in Japan of course, there will be an update to the Holorites where you can now trade in excess memory crystal loads to growth eggs in multiple amounts. Wow. It's about time. Thank goodness. And yeah, that's it. They even give us, what's the image? Oh, alright, sure. Worthless. Okay, so that's that. So now we're going to go to the Torment dungeon renewal. Nope. Comments. Okay, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. So whenever I say Nightmare Dungeon, because I'm just going to be reading what I see, it just means Torment. In this Nightmare Dungeon renewal, the difficulty of the bosses will be increased, ranging from slightly easier than 3-star Magicites to extremely hard bosses, where the use of fully powered up Realm Synergy parties is required. About the new Nightmare Dungeons. The new Nightmare Dungeons will come with 3 difficulties. At its easiest, it's between Apocalypse Plus and 3-star Magicite difficulty, while the hardest will be stronger than even 4-star Magicites, which are extremely strong, by the way. They have like 900,000 to a million health and defense and resistance that, you know, unlike which we have not seen before. 4-star Magicites are going to be the real deal, and I can't wait to get to that. But for now, each difficulty will be a single boss fight as well, and Phoenix Revives will not be available in them. The highest difficulty Nightmare will probably require a long period of strengthening and building up your party to tackle, so it's best to start planning for it as soon as possible. Keep in mind, they're talking to the Japanese players now. it is best to start planning for it as soon as possible for global as well. And we have a ridiculous head start on this. And that's why I wanted to start the stream early and talk about this a little bit. In fact, the key to tackling these new Nightmare dungeons will be realm synergized parties, and will make them a lot easier to handle with one. Additionally, elemental parties will play a huge role in the new Nightmare dungeons, just like Magicite dungeons. While it's important to prepare for the Nightmare dungeons, don't neglect your preparations for the 5-star Magicite dungeons as well. The first Nightmare dungeon renewal will be from the Final Fantasy Tactics series. Currently, it's being planned to have new Nightmares appear every month, with 2 in January and 2 in February. So not bi-monthly, but 2 every month. Important tips. With the new Nightmare dungeons, realm synergy will play an even more important role. Not only the characters fully strengthened, the enemies will get weaker as well. Each additional realm synergy character in the party will reduce the enemy's elemental resistance, break resistance, and damage dealt. This will be an important part in planning your strategies for these renewed Nightmares. So, realm synergy is actually coming back. And that is going to affect the way I talk about banners and stuff from now on, evaluate them for myself. Does this change poll plans that I had? Yes. Oh, no, not a year. There's nothing that happens that's a year out. 6 months at the latest. Next up, we have Realm Limit Chain. Roaming warriors will not be available in the renewed Nightmare dungeons. Instead, Dr. Mog will lend us his newest power, Historia Bonds, which is a limit chain soul break that will be based on the realm synergy of the party. Historia Bonds is a 150 limit chain, so you can stack it up to 150 times, where the chain count will be increased with each attack from a realm synergy character. Additionally, the chain will grant a medium damage buff to every realm synergy character in the party as well. With this new chain, even different elemental attacks and normal attacks will be buffed without restriction, so it'll provide an easier time for players without matching elemental limit chains. Elemental limit chains are also usable in the renewed Nightmare dungeons. Right, whatever. It's possible to use elemental limit chains after using the realm limit chain, so you can use them together. Well, that possibly, after it expires, I don't know. That's not clear enough, so I'm not gonna go into that. We'll figure it out once it's actually released. Also, Dr. Mog has obtained a new power, the Great Wall Grimoire, which will automatically activate at the start of a battle, granting the party increased defensive stats. Additionally, the effect lasts until the end of the battle as well. Challenge renewed Nightmares with these 2 new powers from Dr. Mog. Wall is effectively dead. Now at the point in the game we're at right now, Wall doesn't do a hell of a lot. Because the really difficult fights where it's necessary, it's available to us as an RW, and we're unable to RW anything else relevant. These are going to be some of the toughest fights in the game, most likely. And yes, it is a buff to Knights. And it's automatic. So this is a sneaky, and I doubt that a lot of people will look at it this way as soon as they saw it, but as soon as I saw it, I said, Japan already had 3rd Anniversary Festival, where they saw and got super hyped by Tyro's USB 3, which is an advanced version of Wall. It's like Wall, Protect, Kashelga, and Heiska. That is a trap soul break, I think. yeah, I think I'm gonna start devaluing. Well, I may talk about Ishtola in there anyway, Ricky, just to say that she is not what you think she is. Wall is not what you think it is. Don't overcommit for what is just a normal defensive soul break, and you don't have to, you know, over prioritize it. But it's a sneaky buff that Global gets that Japan doesn't. Japan has had 2 festivals now where this wall was on a banner and people probably said, okay, that's a big win for me on the banner. Yeah, I just don't think it is. And yeah, live in that too. Like, they just gave us a really awesome, what seemed like an awesome banner from Cecil. You know, Paladin Cecil and Dark Cecil. And then they just dashed Cecil against the wall. You know, Dark Cecil I think is still actually quite awesome. But they definitely devalued Paladin Cecil and his USB 2 a lot. So, yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. We're going to be, in 2 months, we're going to be having a festival. And that Tyro USB 3 is going to be a big deal. You know, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue with the second banner that it appears on, which is the Summer Festival that'll be happening in June. Because I think that banner has enough new stuff. But it's really that 3rd anniversary occurrence of Tyro's USB 3 that is really just awesome for us, knowing that that's not something that we need to prioritize. Oh, no, if this was the only occurrence of something that tried to marginalize Wall, I would agree. Because we don't know if this is going to be... This could be, you know, 4 to 6 months away. It probably is. But this is something we've been dealing with for a little while now. Not only is Wall unnecessary for a lot of content, it's actually just a crutch. Because the old, you know, the cliche, the best defense is a good offense, it actually applies. Because the faster that you're able to burn through bosses, and the more offensive capability that you bestow upon yourself by, you know, removing stuff like Wall, the less damage you take. So that's in content where Wall is still, you know, where we still have access to roaming warriors. But now there's Crystal Tower and there's Magicite, which are the hardest content in the game at the moment, which we don't have access to roaming warriors. We just get Wall. So that's content where Wall is worthless. So it's not just Great Wall that's relevant here. We're dealing with this now, as well as in the future it's going to be even worse. That's what this is. Just knocked my coffee over. Luckily I use sippy cups, so no harm done. Yarrow, you're probably right. You're probably right. Wall was... The reason why I had to have this conversation is because Wall has been such a... I don't know. Like, it... Everybody's heard the term the Trinity, right? Well, it's just been such a staple in people's minds within this game for so long. That I'm trying to do what I can to just push it out. Like, don't be a traditionalist about it. Try playing this game as though it no longer exists. Well, yeah, Wall was a mistake. Okay, so After that, obtain rewards even when you lose. With the renewed Nightmare Dungeons, there will be a damage-based grade given according to the amount your party dealt to the boss. This reward will still be given out even if you are defeated by the enemy. These new dungeons only cost 1 stamina, so you can steadily challenge the boss multiple times to obtain certain rewards until you can win. Additionally, there will be clear time grade rewards for winning the fight, so not only players have to think about winning, there is also the incentive to reduce the battle's duration as well. Please note that rewards for each grade are only obtainable once. So I'm guessing that these rewards are not going to be that big. Otherwise, you're just going to have people macroing. To get rewards for 1 stamina. So the big deal here is probably just these new Torment dungeons are going to have speed clearing incentives. But they're only obtainable once, so it's not something that you farm over and over again. You can get that. You can, bring Bartz into your party and go for a double quadruple cast run and get your 30-second clear. And then you're done with it for good. It's not something you need to farm like Magicites. New Nightmare Dungeons rewards. In the renewed Nightmare Dungeons, Legend Motes and Job Motes are similarly available as rewards for clearing in even larger amounts than before. Additionally, there will be a new item called Memory Ruby given out as rewards. Memory Rubies are a new item that functions as a currency to exchange in the new Royal Archives Transmutation Center. In this new center, you can transmute the Memory Ruby into new 6-star ability records. There will be 3 new 6-star ability records added in January and February each. And these new abilities will be a key to further strengthening your heroes. Along with the renewed Nightmare Dungeons, the Royal Archives Transmutation Center will be opened as well. In it, you can acquire new 6-star ability records, as well as Legend Motes using the Memory Rubies that drop from the new Nightmare Dungeons. New ability records. This is a big deal. This is a very big deal for us right now. This is a huge, huge global advantage. Along with the renewed Nightmare Dungeons, there will be further addition of the 6-star ability records to be obtained. For this month, 3 new 6-star spellblade abilities will be added, along with 3 new 6-star black magic abilities in February. Additionally, even ability categories that do not have 6-star abilities so far are planned to be added in as well in the future. In the meantime, please look forward to these new abilities in January and February. Spellblade. Blast Strike. 4 times single target, fire, earth, physical damage. I'm guessing, since it is a 6-star, it will be matched with Snow Spell Strike. So, this will be a 4.4 multiplier, fire and earth damage. Spellblade Thunderstorm Strike, 4 times single target, lightning, water, physical damage. Spellblade Scorching God Strike, 5 single target, fire, physical damage. These are awesome. Snow Spell Strike is one of the most powerful abilities in the game, and it's crazy on a few characters. What's nice about it is that it's not terribly awesome on too many characters. What's unfortunate, fortunate, I don't know, depends on who you are, is that this superpowers 2 characters in particular. Bartz and Celeste. Bartz blows my mind with these. Snow Spell Strike used to be fine with Bartz, because it used to be a wind thing for him. He's not much of an ice guy. He can do ice with Snow Spell Strike, and it's good enough. That's how powerful Snow Spell Strike is, that Bartz becomes an ice character just by using Snow Spell Strike. But wind wasn't that bad of a thing, because a physical wind was available in so many different forms. Now, Bartz is really good at it, but he actually had competition. outside of Snow Spell Strike and his Fire, Earth, and Water, there was a difference where he was good, and I think his 5-star abilities were well suited for it. But now he just takes over those other elements. Fire in particular here. But Earth and Water as well. Like, all 4 of his elements are represented. And now he can do Lightning as well. This is just such a gigantic Bart's buff, and please do not forget... Oh, hey, Jimbo. Celeste recently got an ability double spellblade USB. Not as good as Bart's, I don't think, because of her Legend Materia. She wants to use Soul Breaks thanks to her LM2, which increases her Soul Break generation. But Bart's is made to just supercast all these Soul Breaks. But, like, I don't want to downplay Celeste. Celeste, with these new abilities in Snow Spell Strike, becomes an all-elemental goddess. Just a small rung below Bart's, I think. They both turned into awesome characters. Other characters that are affected by these Spellblade abilities... well, Zazat is a 6-star Spellblade, but he uses Ice, so not that big of a deal. Because he already has access to Snow Spell Strike. Squall uses Snow Spell Strike to start off a battle. Delita. Delita really, really loves this. This is kind of annoying. Delita really, really loves this. His USB actually kind of looks kind of interesting now. He could Senbu. He could. But it would be kind of like the way Bart's is now with Ice. It's a good stopgap. But Bart's does have that LMR that allows him to quad cast. Or triple cast. Potentially quad cast. And plus Bart's is all plus like Spellblade damage instead of elemental damage, while Squall I don't believe is. I believe he's mostly just plus ice. Oh, so the thing about Delita is Delita's multi-elemental. That's the advantage here, and that's where Zazat and Squall kind of they're kind of mono-elemental, but Delita is quad element. But we can throw out Holy because there's no Holy Spellblade. But he's Fire, Lightning, and Ice. So now he has access to 6-star Spellblades for each of his things, and his Legend Dive is 35% chance to dual cast Spellblade abilities. So Delita actually gets a large side buff with these abilities. So that's a thing. Now, while there is Snow Spell Strike available to Zazat and Squall, it was mentioned that Pain is also a 35% dual caster Spellblade, who did not yet have a 6-star Spellblade ability for Water. She does now, so this does provide a buff to Pain. How big? Well, she is just a plain Water Quick Cycle. I don't know. I can't say for sure whether that's going to be relevant this far into the future for her, but it does improve her. Undoubtedly, it improves her. And remember, stuff like Realm Synergy is going to matter now, so perhaps Pain's USB is going to be on your Final Fantasy X team for Torment. So I think it would be a really nice thing to have her, dual casting Spellblades. Well, potentially dual casting. I don't know what the state of our Legend Dives is going to be then, but this does give me hope that these new Torments are going to give us more sources of 5-star motes. So hopefully Legend Diving isn't going to be as scarce as it is right now. I don't think so, Bliven. These... Oh yeah, because there's no way for Lightning to be given 6-star Spellblade. She would need that to use this. One question, what's going to happen to our non-Nat 5 people? Oh, so the same question. Maybe Bliven. I honestly feel like they would have mentioned that if that was going to happen. I personally do not think that Lightning will have access to the Thunderstorm Strike. If she did, that would be a huge Lightning buff, that, without a doubt. Ayame is a 6-star Spellblade, but she is dual cast Samurai and gets Samurai damage. So that would not count. Let's look it up. Scott? I think Scott works as a Spellblade. Yeah, I mean, this is only 5-star school, so that's a buff to Scott. Bart's obviously, Zazat's already good. Celeste is huge buff to him. Or her, Squall is Snowspell Striker. Steiner. It's just his USB is too bad. Pain gets a buff, Ayame doesn't. Rex gets a buff. Rex is a good Spellblader, but Lightning Spellblade. So he'll get a lightning buff. Delita is like behind Bartz and Celeste for how good they get on this banner. Orlando, probably not. You know what? Actually, he does. I would say that Orlando does. Because Orlando with his OSB and Thundering Quad Strike is a pretty decent dealer of lightning damage right now. Even though he's pretty much focused on Dark, Earth, and Holy. I think Orlando with his OSB and access to this new 6-star Spellblade actually gets pretty awesome. Rex doesn't get Unlightning. Rex gets a 50% attack buff and Heiska that comes with a 75% Lightning Radiant Shield. That's a pretty big benefit to a Lightning Spellblade. Oh yeah, banner's up. I'll move over to that, so I got over the Spellblades. Does anyone have any questions about the dungeon update tonight? Please ask questions. I am not going to be pulling on this banner because dungeon updates are bad. When is this stuff released? We don't really know, Lucifer. Anywhere from 4 to 6 months away. He's all Spellblade Rainmaker? Spellblade 6? Spellblade 9, yeah, you're right. Congratulations, Everything Offends Me. Lulu's USB is very, very good. The water banner... Oh, nice. I have something else to go over.